These are my pets. The pets that help me without any maintenance. So these are potatoes. I think due to excess water because of the recent rains, it seems it cracked. It's not bad. I just put probably in this entire section 3 potatoes when they had some sprouts, and I put heavy mulch. The soil took care of the rest of it. I may have occasionally water. So there are still some tiny ones. Probably if the season is better, they would have grown bigger. It seems this was the original one I had planted. It seems it is still feeding the plant to some extent, and the plant has developed the roots. The roots gather the rest of the nutrition it needs to grow and to produce. So since there are some tiny ones, instead of throwing them, I would probably dig little deeper and then I bury them. In case they sustain during the winter, in the next growing season, they might germinate or they will decompose. All right. I will check the next one. There are some more pets here. They are earthworms. I feel good whenever I see them. It means the soil is nutritious and they're working for the soil. So it is like a symbiotic relationship between the soil and all these critters. Soil gets the nutrition what it needs from these kind of critters, and then they get the food. It did not grow much bigger. There are still lots of tinier ones here. Well, just imagine in case the weather is good and if they have grown, if they had some more growing season, they all would have probably grown bigger. Nonetheless, I'm happy with whatever I could get. Here lies the third plant. There are not many here. That is a surprise. Oh, there are some more lying underneath. That's interesting. All right. Oh, that's a biggie. When we grow potatoes, ideally we should grow them at the same spot in the following season as well, because even if we harvest all possible ones we could find, there might be still some smaller ones left behind in the soil, and then they will grow back. So if we plant something else, there would be an obstruction between the potatoes and other plants. So therefore, potatoes, sweet potatoes, something of that sort, it's always advisable to grow them almost at the same spot. We just need to replenish with a lot of fertilization, such as compost material. So it seems there are still some white ones lying here and there. Ooh. I get excited whenever I see even any crop, just like a little kid. It seems they have grown themselves from the smaller potatoes that were left behind. And since we don't have enough growing season remained, we are almost towards the end of October in the northern region. Therefore, the weather doesn't support their growth. And ideally, I use my fingers whenever I'm trying to harvest potatoes, because if I use any sharp tools, they might cut through or they might, damage. See, still there are more pets, earthworms. Uh-huh. Yeah, there are still some smaller ones. They are not big enough though. Oh, this is basically a lettuce plant. Sorry, spinach. I still have some spinach left, and then beets, which I would harvest on another day. It looks like that's it, the potatoes for this season. Ooh. Maybe I had to use fork just to make sure that I did not leave anything behind. As I said, no matter how much care I take, still there would be some tiny potatoes. They will remain in the ground. Beautiful. These tinier ones, I might probably put them back in the soil. Oh, they never cease to surprise me, and I never cease to get excited. Just like a school-going kid got something what they want. So these are the onions. I have already harvested onions. Probably some smaller birds remained and they started growing back. But the time probably is not enough for them to ripe. The plant may just be there. See, that's a small onion, baby onion. Another baby onion. Interesting. All right, I believe. Oh ho, oh ho. I think I need to dig a little deeper just in case, to make sure I did not leave any more of abundance. I think that's it. I will still use the fork to make sure nothing is there. I did dig a little deeper with the fork. Except some earthworms, I did not find any more potatoes. But I'm glad to see my pets anyway. And these peanuts, the squirrels, they brought the peanuts from somewhere and then they hide them here in my yard. But they have such short memory, they would not remember where they hide them. So they will come back and they try to dig everywhere, and that's how they spoil the plants. And surprisingly, the shell is intact, but when I crush it open, there will not be any peanut inside. Many times I found that out. So somehow the peanut inside got decomposed, but the shell remained. Or I wonder if the peanut a squirrel got is bad without any peanut. But I think the way the shell looks like, healthy and fuller, probably there was a peanut when a squirrel brought it. But over a period of time, it just decomposed, just the inside peanut, and the shell remained intact. Probably takes much longer time to break down and decompose. So this was actually the mulch that I put in the ground last year. See how nicely it break down. And still some of it, maybe because of the thick layer, looks like leaves, but when I crumble it becomes into tiny pieces. So I think that is a nice habitat for earthworms. In the layers of the leaves they can hide and they can start chewing the roots of the plants. Good. So I'm going to put a lot more dried leaves and other forms of mulch here during October and November, when the trees start shedding their leaves, which will decompose and will become a nice fertile soil for the next season's plants. So when I see the soil so much in black color with lots of earthworms, it makes me feel satisfied that the soil is in good fertile quality. I don't have to put any other fertilizers whatsoever, which I never do. But I'm surprised that some of the leaves from the last year, they still look like leaves, but when I just hold them and crumble, they become like tiny pieces. That's possible if I put like thick layer and then they were condensed into a compact layers of leaves. It's possible that they may not break down quickly. All right. So I will dig up this remaining pot as well, just to make sure that there are no more. But it is very satisfactory. I have put two varieties of potatoes. The white, I think these are called as golden potatoes, and the red variety. Just from 3 potatoes that I planted here, I did get the sizable quantity of potatoes.